It's holy matrimony, love wrapped in grace, honesty the cornerstone, openness embrace, transparency the power to make it through, Christ in the center, making all things new. Welcome to the base camp.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Marriage Base Camp podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And if you're enjoying the podcast, would you consider supporting us? There are sponsorships available as little as like $3 a month. As a thank you for supporting us, you'll receive free access to our marriage alignment map. This is a great resource, not available to everyone, but supporters of the podcast. This is a brand new guided self-assessment. It helps couples identify strengths, uncover pressure zones, and create clear next steps forward. Instead of guessing where tension may be coming from, you'll actually see it mapped out in front of you with some practical exercises to strengthen your foundation together. So you can just click support the podcast in the links below.
Yeah, and thank you guys for considering doing that and even doing that. Appreciate that. Here's where we're going today. All right. There is a silent killer of marriages that many people aren't even aware of. How's that for a news headline?
Crazy.
You do this every day and it's killing your marriage.
Well,
more news at 10. So anyway, and here's the deal. It's not your spouse. Most marriage conflict is not caused by evil spouses. Here it is. It's caused by unmet expectations. So there's this concept of the expectation gap. And that gap is between what you expected to happen and what actually happened. And that's where disappointment and frustration and resentment often begin to grow.
Right.
So the question is not whether you'll experience an expectation gap. The question is, what will you fill that gap with? So let me give you an example. Pretend you're reading this sentence, okay?
Okay.
Robert didn't bring Shelly home any flowers because blank. Like
He forgot. He didn't think about me.
Yeah, well, see, you're jumping ahead.
Oh.
Like the blank
Just kidding.
is missing information, right? It's it's empty space.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. Our brains hate empty space. Our brains immediately try to fill in the blank. And so, like you said, you could fill it in a lot of ways. Maybe he was busy. Maybe he forgot. Maybe he was broke, didn't have any money. Or maybe he just doesn't care. You see how that's different?
Yep.
So notice the event didn't change. Like flowers were not brought home. What changed was the story that you told yourself.
Right.
As to why flowers were not brought home. That's what happens in marriage every single day. Expectations, they create those blank spaces, and your spouse didn't do what you expected, in other words. So there's missing information, and now your brain tries to fill in that blank space with something. There are healthy ways to fill in that gap.
Yeah.
Healthy examples would be to fill it in with curiosity. So that would be you saying, that's unlike him.
Right.
I wonder, how his day was. Another healthy way to fill in that gap would be grace. You could say, yeah, it's okay. I don't need flowers to know that he loves me. But then obviously there are unhealthy ways.
Which is, I feel like that's what we feel like we go the unhealthy.
It's easier.
It's easier.
It's honestly, it's easier.
Yeah.
And a couple of things would be like filling that gap with assumptions or motive. So this would be you responding to yourself, really. Oh, I bet he was too busy talking to that young assistant to even think about buying me flowers, right? Or you could fill that gap with resentment. And you could say, yeah, of course he didn't bring me flowers again. He doesn't even notice me. He takes me for granted. I do everything around here and he just expects it. Why do I even bother?
Oh, goodness.
Right? Like you see how just like horrible that goes really quickly. So here's how to know if you have unmet expectations. If Here's how to know if they're creeping around in your relationship doing damage.
This is huge. To be like self-aware, like listen up. This is huge.
We're not even asking you to pay for this information.
Yeah. It's just,
I mean, we did just ask you to sponsor us. So maybe we did. But you don't
here's some
have to.
things. Yeah.
So here's how you know. See if these sound familiar to anybody out there listening. Have you ever been upset with your spouse for something that they didn't do, and yet they seemed completely clueless as to why you're upset with them? No, that's never happened.
That never happens.
No. What about this one? Have you ever found yourself frustrated at your spouse and you couldn't even really explain why?
Like, I remember doing these things and not knowing anything about expectation gaps. I feel like this would have saved a lot of arguments early on.
It 100% would have.
Like, we were just aware of it. So, yeah.
Well, you mean we weren't aware of it?
We weren't aware of it. And
Yeah.
so I don't even can't explain why I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
But that would have given me language, I feel like.
Look, we gave you those two examples because we're fairly certain everyone has experienced those things. And so if you have, and we assume you have, the problem may not be your spouse at all. The problem may be you have unmet expectations. Most people, they assume that relationships fail because of the big things like affairs, pornography, addiction, abuse, and not to minimize those things. Those things absolutely have the potential to destroy a relationship, but they're more damaging like a grenade is damaging.
Yeah.
I mean, a grenade is very damaging. Those things are kind of like grenades. And so there's like a big instant boom, okay? And they can ruin relationships. But the truth is, many, many marriages are destroyed, not by grenades, but by slow-growing cancers. And we have found that one of the biggest slow-growing cancers in a relationship is how you handle those unmet expectations, what you fill that gap with when it comes to something your spouse didn't do that you thought
they should do.
They should have done.
Yeah. And in James 4:1-2, it says, "What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within? You want something, but don't get it." That's like
That's unmet expectations.
That's like the definition of unmet expectations. At the heart of many arguments is the simple truth. I wanted something to happen and it didn't happen. Period. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a trail story from our own relationship. Anytime Shelly and I travel, we run into the fact that we have different expectations.
Right.
So I am a planner. All the planners
Research.
Unite, right? I often create spreadsheets for the vacation. I want to know where we're going to stay, what we're doing, what restaurants are nearby, where the gas stations are. Is there live music or karaoke nearby, and what time everything opens, right? Like, I just want to know because I don't want to. Here's why.
You ever miss out?
I got a little FOMO, I think, fear of missing out. And so I would hate to get back from vacation and find out that there was some cool thing that was half a mile that we didn't even know about, that we could have seen. We'll never get a chance to see it again. I got a problem. Okay.
Yeah, that's a little, I mean, I'm organized, but I'm not like.
Shelly, on the other hand, she has a favorite phrase, and that favorite phrase is,
"There's always a Walmart." Like, because it's just like, chill out, you know? Like,
your point is simple. Your point is relax.
Yes.
If we forgot something, we'll just buy it, right? But that's how your brain works.
Yeah.
My brain does not work that way. When you say there's always a Walmart, I feel like I can confidently respond with, yeah, there is. And it's 4.2 miles down that road right there, right next to the KFC or whatever, right? Like, I know where it's at. Neither of us are wrong.
No.
We're just different. And we have different expectations. But the problem occurs when I start assuming that Shelly should think exactly like I do.
Yeah.
And then when you don't, there's that difference there.
Right.
There's a gap. That gap shows up, right? And that gap can quickly become frustration. And the issue has nothing to do with Walmart.
Right.
right? The issue is the differing expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what we've learned just personally about vacations. If you don't talk about expectations before the trip, you're definitely going to end up arguing about them on the trip.
Yeah, because you both just have different ideas about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if you don't speak them, then
Hopefully you guys are picking up what we're laying down here. This is not just about vacations.
right.
That is one example of every single area of your life that you encounter as a married couple. You have these expectation differences in every single area.
Yeah, because everyone has expectations about most things.
Yeah.
In fact, every person walks into a marriage carrying a bucket load.
You had yours, I had mine.
Yeah. You had expectations when you hit play on this podcast. What are we going to say today? How much time? Like, you have expectations. The problem is not having expectation. The problem is assuming your spouse shares those expectations. That's huge.
That part.
Yeah. As you know, unmet expectations create disappointment, which then leads to frustration, which then typically you get angry or sadness, disillusionment, and then eventually you just have full-blown resentment. Yeah. Because honestly, resentment in your marriage is often just disappointment that's been left untreated for too long.
Yeah. Resentment is that, why do I even bother?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you're asking those questions, man, this is your call to be like, hey, start asking some questions.
So the question comes, like, where do these expectations come from? Mm-hmm. Because here's the deal. Most of the expectations that you have in your marriage weren't things that you consciously chose.
Right.
They're actually things that were kind of passed on to you, handed to you, things that you absorbed from the culture and the life and the circles of people that you were around. So a few big areas that expectations come from, obviously your family of origin.
Yeah.
So just each of you think about your own parents. Like, number one, were they around?
Right.
Right. And then if they were, how did they handle money, or how did they celebrate Christmas, and how did they discipline kids? And most of us just assume that our normal is everyone's normal.
That's huge.
How you grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the deal. Your normal might not even be normal.
Dang.
Much less everyone else's normal. Right?
Yeah.
And so it's just familiar to you. And so you think, oh, that's
normal.
Everybody does that, right?
Right.
Another place that these expectations come from is friends and media. So if you've ever heard the term keeping up with the Joneses, right? Like, you got to do what everybody else is doing, seeing what everybody else does. And then you assume that that's what your marriage should look like.
Right.
Should look like theirs. Social media is just horrible about feeding into this.
Yeah, it's a hot mess.
You start comparing your everyday reality to someone else's highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
You look at somebody's Facebook post, you're like, oh my goodness, they're on their third trip to Cancun this year.
Right.
Should we be going to Cancun 3 times a year? Mm-hmm. Why aren't we going to Cancun? I think I know why. He doesn't want to go with me. I mean, I'm exaggerating this to make a point, right?
Right.
Even growing up, I was thinking about this the other day. Every animated Disney movie or cartoon that came on, even romantic rom-com or anything like that, they all ended the same. They ended with this big marriage scene. They get married, right? They're running through the airport. He proposes. Next thing you know, it's the wedding, and that's how the movie ends.
Right.
And so none of them showed anything after that.
Yeah.
And so they lived happily ever after. Okay. So our generation, this whole generation growing up, desperately wanting to have that marriage experience, because that's what all the movies had, but none of us knew anything about what to do after that.
Right.
And so we had these expectations.
Yeah.
And another place that expectations come from that a lot of people don't stop to realize is even your past relationships. So whether, previous dating relationship or even a previous marriage, we often start to expect that our current spouse or partner is going to respond and should respond the way our former partner
or not
spouse,
respond. Like,
Yeah. Either, they should respond that way or they shouldn't respond that
Right.
way. And so these things live in there. They live in our heads and they're floating around
right.
and they're doing significant damage if you're not addressing them.
Yeah, because it adds up pretty quick. And we have found there are several common expectation gaps in relationships. One is money. One of you is probably a spender, the other might be a saver. You ever had the conversation about how much money is too much to spend without consulting the other?
This is so much fun to do with couples.
Premarital.
Yes.
Because one might be like $50, the other was like 500, and oh my gosh, that's a huge argument. But it's just a number.
Yeah.
It's just
you got one spouse who is afraid to buy a new purse,
right.
and then the other spouse just came home with a PlayStation and didn't even ask you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not about the dollar; it's just about the expectation and the unity in it. The other one is sex and intimacy and affection. Is just a very common one. How often, we've talked about this before, are we going to have sexual intimacy? What's acceptable in the bedroom?
I think
we've talked a lot about that.
Yeah, we have. You can go check out some of those other episodes on sexual intimacy.
Yeah.
Here's a challenge for couples. I think it's important that you learn to be intimate without sex.
Yeah. I don't think
I feel like somebody's listening to this and they're just like, what? What did he just say?
Rewind that.
Yeah. Learn to be intimate without sex. And here's the deal. You might be thinking, but isn't sex intimate? Yeah, absolutely it is. Sex usually equals intimacy, but intimacy doesn't always equal sex. Doesn't have to.
No, and I think that's a concept that definitely our world does not understand.
I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't even understand it for the longest time because I equated the two.
Oh,
like you can't. How in the world can you be intimate without?
Well, like
sex,
you're saying,
right?
shows and movies, and that's not what they portray.
Right.
So, yeah, healthy marriages create emotional closeness, even when sexual closeness maybe isn't even happening for whatever reason, health or surgeries or whatever.
So common expectation gaps so far. You said money.
Yep.
Sex.
Yep.
Intimacy. Order some more.
Kids. Another common one, yeah. Discipline styles.
Stinking kids.
That's crazy.
No, we love kids. We had a lot of them.
But your discipline styles, like we have kind of go back to your family of origin, what you grew up with. Activities and sports. Are we going to be like the one sport family or the travel, club sports all year long?
All the sports.
Schooling decisions, public, homeschool, co-ops.
Yeah.
Childcare decisions. Are you going to stay home? Are we going to send the kids to daycare? Yep. Like many couples don't discover they're on different pages until they're already exhausted as parents.
Ooh, that's good. That'll preach.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think you realize what you haven't discovered or talked about until you're just exhausted. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. We're totally on different pages. So,
yeah.
What about in-laws? Extended family.
Yes, please. Let's talk about this.
Have you ever fought over how much time you're going to spend with your family?
2 days.
Yeah, you have a 2-day rule.
Yeah, family and friends. No, family and fish.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, they both start to stink after 2 days.
But what does that say about us? Does our kids not want to be with us after? We don't stink. It's just hard. Isn't there some sort of...
I don't know. That's a good question.
Study or something where if you're...
Yeah. I know where you're going.
If you're with your parents for more than like 4 days or 3, what is it?
It shows up early on. Oh, well, let me say this. It shows up more in younger married couples.
So, yes. So we were like young.
Yes. So couples who are recently out of the home.
Yes.
When they go back home after a certain period of time, psychologically, they start to revert back to how they acted while they were at home.
Yes.
And so now, even though, let's say they're both 25 and they're married, they have their own house. If they go stay a week with one of the sets of parents, after that week, they're actually acting more like they acted when they lived there as teenagers.
Which is crazy.
Than when they do right now as their own family unit. It's just because it's familiar, right? You fall into those patterns, and not only are they acting that way, the parents are treating them that way. Oh, so 2 days, y'all, 2 days and get out.
Dang.
Yeah.
The expectation often sounds like one spouse saying, "Of course we're going to spend, Christmas with my parents," and the other might be like, "Why would we do that?"
No, we ain't. Speaking of family, another common expectation gap is holidays and celebrations.
Yeah.
These are I think this is one nobody ever thinks about. Like in your family, were birthdays a big deal, or were they not? Because like some of y'all celebrated, some of y'all might have said, "Hey,
happy birthday,
good job being born," and then the other family might have celebrated the whole week.
Right.
This is your birthday week.
Yeah.
Right. And then something every single day.
It's crazy.
What about anniversaries? Are we doing something big?
Yeah.
Are we going somewhere every year? It's our, that kind of deal. Or Valentine's Day. Right.
Yeah.
Like one spouse might expect a weekend getaway because it's Valentine's Day. And the other one's like, I was going to text you with a heart emoji. Call it good. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So
yeah, that's not good.
The list of expectations goes on and on.
It does.
And on. Like I said, every area, household, chores, housework, organization of the home, vacations, communication, conflict, spiritual life. Like how involved are we going to be in the church? Are we going to pray together? All those things.
Yeah.
Work and career. Like you said, are both spouses going to work full time? One of them not going to work, stay home?
Yeah.
How much overtime is too much overtime?
What's crazy is because most people don't talk about these things before marriage.
Well, true.
I think if they have good premarital, they will.
Well, I mean, that's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
You can't answer all these questions in a short amount of time. The problem is they don't ever talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you haven't talked about them before, you're not going to talk.
Yeah, until they're full on in.
Right.
And then they, like you said, they wake up and they don't even realize they're on different pages. They're mad at each other. They don't know why. The other one doesn't know why. They just know they're doing something wrong.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Fast forward, wife says I'm out, and husband's like, what? What's wrong? I didn't know, and I thought everything was great.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we've actually heard before. So.
Yeah, more often than you would think. Conversations about these have to become crucial because those circumstances will change.
Correct.
Right? So if we're talking about kids, those expectations are going to change depending on the age grouping of those kids.
Right.
So it starts off talking about, are we going to be gentle parents?
Right.
But then it turns into, are we going to allow our 17-year-old to stay out until 11? Or they have to be home at 9? Whatever. Stuff like that.
Yeah, common things. Okay, so those are the common just things we've found were expectation gaps. When those gaps happen, you have choices. You have a choice. You can respond well, or you can respond poorly. And
the choice is yours.
The choice is
Choose
yours.
wisely.
Yeah, and here's where I feel like our life wisdom can help a little. If you're wanting to respond poorly, here's all you have to do. Stay unaware of the gaps. Just stay clueless about it all. Never get curious. You can just get frustrated. I feel like I'm selling something.
You too could hate your spouse.
That's terrible.
But wait, there's more. Have resentment.
Yeah. Just be clueless. You're not aware. You're not why. You're not asking questions. What expectation is it being met? Be unreasonable about what you expect. Sometimes the expectations we have are simply just unrealistic. And here's a clue. If you are unwilling to make an allowance for your spouse and then expect them, hang on, let me re-say that. If you're unwilling to make allowances for your spouse that you expect them to make for you, that's a problem. Meaning if you're unwilling to allow them to do this and you're expecting this, but you're not reciprocating that,
Yeah.
that's very dangerous.
Yeah. That's called a lot of things.
It's called
It's
a lot
called
of things.
double standard.
Yeah.
It's called BS.
Yeah.
It's called a lot of things.
That's true.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Keep your expectations unspoken. That's a common myth that we hear. I would say more with girls, maybe. Like, well, I shouldn't have to tell him. I shouldn't have to say anything. I mean, I think it goes both ways, but
the old "I shouldn't have to tell him" myth.
Yeah, that's called a myth.
Yeah, which, by the way, is an expectation in and of itself.
This is true. I shouldn't have to tell him anything wrong. Well, you absolutely should talk to him and talk about expectations, and because cleaning the kitchen while slamming the cabinets isn't communication.
Are you confessing right now, or is that just a story?
No.
Yeah.
Like, slamming the pots and pans, that's not communicating anything.
Well, no, it is. It's
true.
just not communicating
what you want.
what you want to communicate.
This is true. You giving them the silent treatment, that's not communication.
Yeah.
Here's one I think that guys probably do: disappearing into the garage, the basement for hours. That's not communication.
People do that?
Yeah, that's what I hear anyway.
Yeah.
And if you want your unmet expectations to slowly destroy your marriage, stay unaware, be unreasonable, and never share what you expect. Like, I'm being sarcastic, but like literally, like if you think about that, just don't get curious.
Don't do anything.
Don't do anything. You will destroy.
Yeah, don't do anything and you will drift.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing you have to do to drift is nothing.
This is true.
Yeah. Just real quick, I got to say this. I've been following this girl on Instagram who's becoming the first American female to solo row from the U.S. to Hawaii. There's been people do it.
Is she like, it's a small?
Yeah. It's a little small boat.
Yeah.
Apparently she's the first female American to do it. I don't know. Anyway, I've noticed like she's got this boat. She's got a lot of equipment on this boat. And literally, like sometimes she shows you like what everything does. Literally her full-time job is avoiding drift. Everything on that boat, every piece of equipment, everything that she does.
That's crazy.
It's all to get her to where she needs to go, but it's calculating drift the whole time.
I feel that's a sermon coming on.
I'm telling you, because if you don't calculate it in, it will happen. You will drift. All you have to do in order to drift off course is nothing.
Yeah.
Ask a pilot. Go ask a pilot about drift.
Crazy.
Go ask someone who sails boats about drift.
Well, because you just think, well, I'll just lay here. I'll just relax and not do anything.
Y'all been to the beach?
Yeah.
You go in the water and you look up 10 minutes later and your umbrella is like way over there. Now. Yeah. Drift. Current.
Crazy.
Yeah. A dead fish can swim downstream just because of the current, but it takes a live one to swim the other way.
Oh,
amen.
My gosh.
Come
amen.
on. We're getting church up in here.
Dang.
So that's all the things you want to do if you don't want to work on expectations. There is a better way.
There is.
Would you like to know what the better way is?
Please tell me.
Here is the better way. But first, a word from our sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have a sponsor.
No.
Here's how to respond well to the expectation gaps in your relationship. And these kind of go the exact opposite of what you said. Number one, be aware of your expectations. First and foremost, you have to be aware of them. You have to understand themselves. Like, what expectations do I have in this particular instance?
Right.
We often don't even realize that we have an expectation, and that's why we get frustrated, and we don't even know why we're frustrated.
Right.
So after something has happened, ask yourself, what did I expect to happen?
That didn't. Yeah.
So number one, be aware. Number two, share those expectations with your spouse.
Ahead of time is better.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the moment, you're like, hey, I had this expectation to do this, or this is coming up. Like, man.
Yeah. Afterwards is fine as long as you can have the conversation with grace.
Right.
Beforehand is great. Once you've identified your expectations, you have to share it. Okay. So let me just give another trail story. I remember one particular night, I was wanting to spend an evening, we'll say, cuddling.
Okay.
Okay. Have relations, if
All
you
right.
will.
All
Okay. We can say whatever we want to say. This podcast
That's
is
true.
whatever. I was wanting to make out. I was
Okay.
wanting to have sex.
Yeah.
Okay. You had a meeting or a dinner or I forget what it wasn't. It was something. You were meeting with somebody.
Okay.
And I just had this expectation that we would spend that quality time when you got home. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about it all day, but I
Mm.
never said anything to you.
That's really dangerous.
And so, well, yeah, I know that now. Thanks. So the meeting, whatever it was, it ran late. Shelly gets home. She's exhausted. She's totally not interested in doing anything that I was interested in doing.
Mm.
And I had also assumed that she also had been thinking about this all day.
Yeah.
And she just decided to ignore me when she got home. I felt rejected, right? She didn't value quality time with me. Truth was, it wasn't even on her radar.
I had no idea.
We ended up getting into this huge argument.
Mm-hmm.
An unspoken expectation is as good as a text message that you never hit send on.
Yeah. This has happened a couple times, but I remember this scenario, and I remember us arguing, but it was more about you were feeling rejected. We were arguing about the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Until I think eventually we got around to, I just had an expectation that didn't get met. Like we eventually got there, but it took a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
And then, what did we say so far? Be aware.
Yeah.
Number 2, share your expectations. Number 3, be willing to compromise.
Yeah.
Now, when I say compromise, I don't mean compromise your integrity or your faith, right? I mean, be willing to humble yourself.
Yeah.
And so in that same scenario, like if I could do it over again, okay, like me compromising would have looked something like this. Hey, she's had a long day. Maybe tonight isn't the best night for cuddle time.
Right.
You compromising, although you're compromising is different because you didn't even know it was a thing, right?
Right.
So I'm asking you to compromise on something you didn't even know is a thing. It gets a little confusing, but just for the sake of argument, you compromising might have looked like this, hey, assuming that you were aware of the expectation.
Okay.
Let's make that assumption.
Okay.
Hey, I know you were wanting to spend some time together tonight. I am exhausted. I just want to fall in bed. But how about tomorrow morning we carve out some time just for the two of us, right?
Right.
That's what compromise looks like.
Yeah.
And isn't that what Philippians 2 reminds us when it says we should look out not only for our own interest, but the interest of others?
Mm.
Now, in full disclosure, I did not find a compromise in that scenario. I pouted. I made Shelly feel like she had done something wrong when she had done absolutely nothing wrong. And all because I didn't get what I wanted. And that was not me loving you like Christ loved the church. That was me being selfish in that moment.
I'm glad you see that. I'm just kidding. Okay.
It's taken me a lot of time. But here's the deal. All of that, I'm confident 99% of that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
Had we just had a small conversation before you left.
Absolutely.
We would have been on the same page.
Right.
But because we didn't have the conversation.
Yeah.
I had expectations. You had different expectations.
Right. Well, I mean, it has gone both ways. I've had expectations of you doing something before I get home, like dishes.
Yeah.
And I've come home and you're in the shower and I get really pissed off because I'm like, are you kidding me? I asked you to do one thing.
Yeah.
But for your defense,
No, you didn't even ask me. You expected me to do it.
I don't remember, but
yeah.
I remember getting really mad. And you're like, I was trying to get in the shower and get out. So when you got home, you could get in the shower.
You could just jump in the shower.
I got home earlier than I should have. Anyway.
It was a hot mess.
We have had lots of hot messes.
Yeah, we're not perfect, and we've made all these mistakes. That's why we're wanting to help you guys along the trail.
Right.
Because marriage works best when both spouses are asking the question, how can I help my spouse get what matters to them?
Yeah.
If neither of you is asking that question, it won't work.
Right.
If only one of you is asking that question, it's still not going to work either, because the other one's going to take advantage of that. You both have to be asking that question.
Yeah. I feel like we ever, try to give a summit challenge. So this week, maybe just schedule like a 30-minute expectation check-in. And here are some great questions to ask. Here's one expectation I have that I'm not sure I have clearly communicated to you. So just stating, hey, here's something I've had expectation of, but I don't think I've actually told you about it.
Yeah, that's something great to talk about.
It is. What expectation do you have that you think I might be missing?
That's a great question.
It is a good question. Here's one area I feel resentment could start growing because of expectations I have.
Man, you talk about getting honest with your spouse, answering that question.
Yeah.
Looking ahead and saying, hey, in this particular area, because like we said, these expectations exist in a lot of areas. Some of them might not be that big of a deal for you though. You guys may be on the same page when it comes to kids, when it comes to finances, when it comes to sexual intimacy. Right. But when it comes to your in-laws, that's an area, that's a hot point, right? And so that's when you say, you know what, in this area around this topic, I could see how I could become resentful.
Right.
If things keep happening. And,
right.
Yeah.
Which we have had to do.
Yeah. What are those areas in your relationship?
And I feel like when we've had to do that with each other, I don't know, it just helps grow.
Well, I mean, just for example, my schooling. Yeah. That's been one that you've had to confront me about because I've been in school a lot. Mm-hmm. And I get sort of blind and focusing on papers and studying and all that. And it becomes really easy for me to not focus on you. Right. And there have been some times when you've had to just say, hey, can we talk? Mm-hmm. And it's never fun to hear that I've been neglecting you.
But it's
necessary.
And you are both responding. At least I'm trying to come to you in humility and you're responding in humility.
Right.
Not arrogant and
right.
Hey, you jerk. You haven't done that's not how that should go.
And there's been areas that I've had to come to you in humility and say, hey, are you aware of this?
Right.
Yeah. Man, just the freedom and the grace in a relationship to be able to do that. Yeah. If you have never experienced that, man, I would encourage you to wade off into that unknown territory. And I think you'll be surprised by what you find. I think you'll find
hopefully grace.
And as long as you approach it that way, there's a good chance you'll find that in return. And so the idea here is to ask, how can we approach whatever it is as teammates instead of opponents?
Yeah.
Because you guys do know you're on the same team, right? Like you're wearing the same jersey.
Yes.
You guys chose each other. You share a last name now.
Yeah.
So you guys are on the same team. So if your marriage is struggling, please don't assume it's because a lack of love.
Yeah.
It's probably just because of lack of clarity.
Yeah.
And you're not talking about things that would really help. And so those expectation gaps are always going to exist. Yep. And just because they're there doesn't mean that your marriage is doomed, right? Rather, when you repeatedly refuse to do anything about it, that's when it really starts to hurt your marriage.
Because I think we were saying this earlier, but it builds resentment.
Yeah.
And then that just goes downhill quick.
If you leave that alone long enough, and I think we're going to do an episode on this in the future. John Gottman would say that turns into contempt.
Yes.
And as soon as contempt shows up,
that's not good.
It's not good. It's they call it one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. In other words, if these 4 things are in your relationship, it's a really, really, really bad thing. And so I think we'll talk about that at some point.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah. The healthiest couples aren't the ones who never have gaps, right? They're the ones who know that they're there They're the ones who deal with it. Healthy couples fill those gaps with things like communication and grace and curiosity instead of assumptions, disappointment, motive, resentment.
Yeah, I like it. Hopefully this helped you guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Hey, man, if this helped you, and send it to your spouse, send it to your friends. We would love to be able to help anyone that we can. This is why we do this. Don't forget, we would love to have any questions that you guys have. You can send those questions to podcast@marriagebasecamp.com. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Welcome to the base camp. From Genesis to Revelation, His love is the guide. Every vow, every moment, we lay down our pride. His mercy's the melody, our heart's the refrain. Through sunshine and shadow, our love will remain. This holy matrimony, love wrapped in grace. Honesty the cornerstone, openness embrace. Transparency's the power to make it through. Christ in the center, making all things new.